What's up, everybody? My name is Godzi, and welcome back to Umineko When They Cry Questions Arc. Last episode, we continued with episode 2, or is it chapter 2? I forget whether they're called episodes or chapters, but whatever, we're in the second part, and everyone's arrived at the island now. Well, I think everyone has. They gave us the achievement for arriving at the island again, so I can only presume that we have made it, and this is only the second out of 4 parts of the series. We're probably not even halfway through this part, and we're in episode 21. Yeah, this is gonna be a really long series, as if I didn't know that already. But whatever, I don't have a drink this episode, which is upsetting. But I have my cardboard tube as usual. So hopefully, if I have to scream, I'll think to grab it, because I've been told my ears are scream destroying. Yes, my ears are scream destroying. I can't talk at all today. Okay, happy Saturday, it's 11 a.m. Okay, let's get into this. Every year, the relatives visiting Rokanjima would let out a sigh of admiration at the rose garden that first greeted them. They would stop there to chat about the roses' beauty and how well they were blooming that year. Okay, I was prepared to speak in her voice when she showed up, but I guess not. Okay. In the midst of all of this, there was a single unhealthy rose, and Maria became overwhelmed with dejection at his condition. Of course, yep, this again. But George used his quick wit, and saying that everything would be fine if they took care of this poor thing, marked it with a candy wrapper and immediately restored Maria's good mood. Okay, so they're kind of just skipping through the things that we already went through in the first chapter, which is a good thing, but still telling us that they happened. I don't know if that's important. I don't know if this is gonna happen every single chapter, but whatever. My arm hurts. I don't know why. By the way, my stomach's better, but now my throat hurts. Well, kinda. It's mostly just because I swallowed water wrong. Why does it feel like sometimes when you swallow water, it feels like you're swallowing rocks? Whatever. Then Battler, with whom she'd been getting along well... What? Oh, then Battler, with whom she'd been getting along well since that morning, started talking about Halloween. This was such a favorite topic of Maria's that she began playing around energetically again. Again, sorry. To Maria, that marshmallow jack-o'-lantern candy bought by her mother was probably the greatest sort of treasure. They seemed to have bought several, and she demanded a trick-or-treat. She demanded a trick-or-treat from every person she met. Okay. You could just say she said it to every person she met, but whatever. Oh, she demanded them to say it to her. Okay, I'm really dumb today. Haha. They seem to have bought several, and she demanded a trick-or-treat from every person she met, giving them candy instead of the other way around. I really should stop using my right arrow key and start using my mouse instead, because I don't think my mouse shows up on screen. So, yeah, we'll start doing that. I wonder why Maria likes Halloween so much. I always figured it was a pretty unfamiliar event for the Japanese. Well, it's a kids' festival where they get to parade around in costumes, right? It can be fun to play around in an outfit that's different from usual. I think there's a slightly deeper cause behind it. After all, she is the witch Maria. Come to think of it, when we were at the airport, didn't Maria say that if she was gonna wear a costume, it'd be a witch? Does she like witches? Yes, Fuck, I forgot, I changed her voice. Yes, she loves them. So much that it becomes a problem. Hey, it's not so bad. You expect kids at that age to love fantastical stuff like that. If it was just a heroine on some TV anime, at least it'd be cute. Judging by Rose's appearance, she wasn't very happy about her daughter's love for witches as a mother. The cousins other than Battler seemed to realize this, and they shrugged, wearing stiff smiles. So you're arguing that because she likes witches, she also likes Halloween? If we don't know, why don't we just ask her? Hey Maria, how are Halloween and witches related? As Battler asked that, George and Jessica let out a stifled "ah." What? As if they were trying to stop him, but too late. Oh great. Maria might have been waiting for just that question. After beaming for an instant, oh great. We're so early in the chapter. Can we put away the creepy smiles, please? After beaming for an instant, her expression turned a little mean, as if to say, You're totally clueless, aren't you? It was the face of a hobbyist who's been ticked off by an outsider saying something stupid about their favorite subject.
To the
Celts? Fuck, I forget. I know there's a basketball team called the Celtics, but is it Celtics or Celt? I think it's Celts. We're saying Celts, okay? I shouldn't think too much about words and just mispronounce them.
Ew. To the Celts, the changing strength of the sun over the course of a year signified its birth, its growing up period, its aging and death, and then its revival.
I get it. In spring, the weak, warm sun starts to grow up and get hot, and then it gradually gets weaker and worn out. Sort of makes sense to think of it as the sun living out an entire life.
Yes, so they thought that at the end of October, the sun died, was laid to rest in the land of the dead, and was then revived at the winter solstice.
Yeah, sure, okay. Is that when the 30 days of darkness are? That doesn't happen in Japan.
And the name they gave to the last...
Oh, the Celts. Fuck, I forgot. What is that? Ireland? They don't have 30 days of darkness.
And the name they gave to the last day of their year, when the sun ended its 1-year lifespan and died, was Samhain, and they celebrated then.
Yay, the sun is dead! Okay. It's an interesting idea, to think that the sun is revived on the day of the winter solstice, when the daylight hours start to grow longer again. But that's the shortest day of the year. It's a case that makes it clear how much the ancients regarded the sun as sacred. I don't know why my tongue decided to fucking break itself during that sentence, but okay. I see. So what does that have to do with witches? I don't know why I have rabies, but whenever I read out loud, my mouth is just like, hey, you need saliva? You need saliva? Hey, you want some saliva? No, I don't! Bringing the trash can over here to use as a spittoon. There we go. I'm hopefully gonna not have my spits pick up on my microphone. I forgot to set up push to mute. Fuck! Whatever. It seemed that my casual urging forward had slightly infuriated Maria. Only slightly. She glared at me with eyes that told me to shut up while she explained. Oh, thanks. Maria seemed to be having a blast as she talked, so I decided not to interrupt.
In the interval between October and November, life and death become the closest they ever will.
Cool, can I die then?
The Celts believe that during this time, the world of the living grew closer to the world of the dead and otherworldly beings, and many of those living in the other world would come to visit. It was like the Bomb Festival in Japan.
At the time, people believed that souls returning to the physical world would go into people's houses or possess people and do bad things. So in order to avoid harm, they performed rituals. One of those was to imitate creepy monsters and scare the souls back, which was apparently a way to avoid being possessed.
That part became a festival, which turned into a costume parade. You really know a lot, don't you, Maria?
Oh fuck, I forgot you exist. Ain't it the truth? Even I never knew Halloween had such a history. And you exist too, oh shit. But where did that whole trick-or-treat thing come from? Her knowledge was so extensive that the adults had suddenly started listening in too. Maria, who was normally treated like the youngest all the time, puffed out her chest with pride. Saying that this was just a kids' discussion, Rosa suggested that the adults go on ahead and set their luggage down in the guest house. But nobody else agreed to go with her, and she let out a heavy sigh.
Ew, trick-or-treat is just for fun. It has nothing to do with what was originally a Celtic ceremony. That was created later when Christian customs were mixed in. However, I think it's right for Halloween to be that way.
According to Maria, the souls of the dead weren't the only ones who visited from the non-human world. There were also spirits with intimate connections to people's everyday lives. Humans could receive favors from those spirits, so they'd manage to gain magnificent blessings, as well as a year's worth of good crops.
So basically, Halloween was also a bit of a harvest festival?
I get it. Now that you mention it, I guess October's the turning point in all kinds of ways, including with the seasons. I'd say that's more like November, because, like, fall really just started. For real this month, because we had 2 fucking massive heat waves last month, which is ridiculous. Oh, fuck. Sorry, there was a ladybug on my shoulder. I hate ladybugs. And I almost used the right arrow again. Sort of the opposite of April in Japan. Yeah, that might be a good place to mark it.
Ew. And also, The witches hold a witch assembly then, called a Sabbath.
That's what a Sabbath is. Okay, a witch assembly.
The witches thank the spirits that give out blessings of prosperity and reward them.
Halloween costumes imitate the guests that come from the other side. In other words, you might say giving out candy is a way to show gratitude for the yearly harvest.
Ew, just like George says.
Okay, then, if this is true, which I doubt it, because I don't think anything other than maybe ghosts exist, so I don't think, like, monsters or anything like that exist, or witches, for that matter. Does that mean me dressing up as Shuichi Saihara for Halloween, not this year, but the year before, means I was not dressed up as a spirit from the other side? Great. Cool. I'm gonna be killed. So Halloween is a time when those two worlds intermingle? This is more like a Day of the Dead type explanation. In other words, it's the most important chance for witches to intermingle with guests from that world. Is that what you're trying to say?
Ew, just like Batwer says. And you know what? You know what? October is when the power of witches and demons is at its most vigorous and prosperous. I'm sure Beatrice will come. And then we'll eat marshmallow candy together, and she'll bring me to the Golden Land with her. We'll sing magical songs together, learn magic spells together, learn how to draw magic circles together, and then we'll learn the secrets of runes, and I'll become a great witch really, really quickly.
Great. And then Rosa starts screaming, just like, "You're not allowed to have interests!" My, isn't that wonderful? It's best for kids to have dreams. By the way, Rosa, how old will Maria be this year again? Maria, that's enough of that. Don't worry about it, Rosa. It's a dream all girls have at one time or another. Thank you very much, but Maria has already graduated from that age. She's 9. Does Japan still not have that Chunibyo stuff or whatever? Well, this was the 80s, so maybe it wasn't as common back then, I don't know. But that's like, what, 8th grade syndrome? And you're like 13 in 8th grade, so yeah, it's probably normal. Like, I was kinda similar to that when I was younger. Like, obviously not with witches and not fucking evil, but obviously I believed in things and idolized things. It was mostly Kingdom Hearts, but whatever. Hey, I'm telling you to stop. Rosa scolded Maria, trying to shut her up before her cheery discussion about black magic earned her the snickers of their relatives. Who's talking? Probably Batler? I don't know. Oh, that sounds pretty detailed and impressive. By the way, who is Beatrice again? I know I've heard that name somewhere before. Bauer had been gone for 6 years, and had completely forgotten about the legend of the Rokenjima witch. However, when he said he didn't know Beatrice's name, Maria's once bright mood soured in an instant. And then she started attacking him. When he saw that, Batwer immediately remembered that it was the name of the witch of this island, but the damage had been done. Until Maria's mood improved, she went on and on about many mysterious and fabulous episodes regarding the Golden Witch.
And one time she caved my mom's face in with a, what's it called? Weed whacker.
That's enough, Maria. Thank you. Whoa. Okay, that's a new expression. Thank you, Battler, for letting her chat with you. Cannon, don't you have work to do? Where's Cannon? Please leave now. Goda, it looks like everyone wants to set down their bags for the time being. Sorry, but could you guide everyone to the guest house? Certainly. Well then, everyone, allow me to guide you. Then, if you will excuse me. Goda led the relatives, and they began to head towards the guest house. They were eager to set down their luggage and take a breather, so they didn't realize that Rosa and Maria weren't coming with them. And then she started attacking them. After watching them leave towards the guest house, Rosa's face changed suddenly. She let go with the hand that had been gripping Maria this whole time. There was a bright red mark there, making it clear how much excessive force she had been using on Maria's slender arm. And now she's pissed again. That hand then slapped against Maria's head, pinched her left ear, and lifted. Even though I'm always telling you not to talk about witches, haven't I always said that was our promise together? Huh? Wait, I need to reread that. Even though I'm always telling you not to talk about witches, haven't I always said that was our promise together? I don't know. Like, does Rosa believe in witches and doesn't want Maria to talk about it? Or does she not believe in witches and not want Maria to talk about it? But either way, she doesn't want Maria to talk about witches, I guess, so that's fine.
Mama, ouch! Mama, ouch! Ouch, ouch, ouch!
And now she's screaming again.
You really do like blabbering on about Halloween all the time, don't you? A festival for witches? Who cares about the Celts, black magic, all that idiotic trash? You're 9 years old. 9. Because of that scene you made in the train, I went to all the trouble of making a stop and buying you those disgusting monster marshmallows that look like they have fluorescent paint on them. I went out of my way to buy it, even though it made us late. How much more will you embarrass me before you're satisfied?
Christ, she's 9. Rosa, you care too much about your image. As Rosa cursed, she twisted Maria's ear up, almost as though she was about to tear it off. An expression of anguish spread across Maria's face while she frantically stood on her tiptoes, trying to soften the pain in that ear. Rosa suddenly grabbed the candy that Maria had been holding. And then stomped on it, of course, yep. She threw it on the ground and stepped on it over and over. Well, she probably has enough money to not care about that. To Maria, it was supposed to be proof of a memory, of a brief span of time when her mother had bought something fun for her. But now, that same mother was grinding it into the ground right in front of her. Should I name this episode Child Abuse instead of last episode? Probably. It was as though a brand had been pushed into Maria's eyes, leaving a mark that could never be erased. What's the deal with this disgusting candy? Disgusting. Disgusting! It's because you're like that. It's all because you're like that. I forgot I have to use my cardboard tube when I scream. Disgusting! 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 As she said that, she struck Maria's head over and over again with her palm. She didn't hit Maria's face, because the red swelling would stand out. Of course, yep, you can't make it seem like you were actually hitting her, so hit her where she has hair to hide it. Well, at least she's smart enough to not get caught, implying that she might kill someone. Maria closed her eyes tightly, patiently bearing her mother's violence. No, that wasn't quite it.
Come back, Mama. Come back, Mama. Save me. Save me, Mama. Defeat the bad witch.
She kept bearing Rosa's assault, muttering that over and over. Didn't I tell you to stop talking about witches? Why, you... Rosa tired from hitting her daughter, breathed so hard her shoulders shook. Breath? I don't understand English grammar. Oh, wait. Oh, apparently the scroll wheel does this. That's fun. Maria grasped her hands together, withstanding it, hoping her mother would return soon.
Mama! Mama! Come back quickly! Save me, Mama! Beat the bad witch!
Fine, just stay there like that forever. Have it your way. I'm gonna go eat some Subway. Just stand there, mumbling about witches and Halloween forever. After hurling those words at Maria, Rosa left in the direction of the guest house, leaving Maria behind. And then it's gonna rain and she'll still be out there. Maria, forgetting even that it was okay to cry, kept staring down at the jack-o'-lantern candy that had been trampled beyond recognition. To be fair, marshmallow lollipops or whatever that was supposed to be, they're disgusting. And then Maria attacked me. Oh, Rosa, where were you? I'm sorry. The roses were so wonderful. Rosa, set your luggage down quickly and come with us. We're gonna go say hi to Kraus. To Bro. What happened to Maria? Is she still by the flower beds? Yes. It seems she found a rose she likes and insisted that she take care of it, refusing to listen. I decided to let her do what she wants for a while. We sometimes forget that girls have their own little world. Sometimes we have to respect that, right? You know Rosa doesn't agree with that, Kyrie. That's right. Thanks for your concern, Kyrie. Goda, where is our room? I will guide you. This way. Allow me to hold your luggage. I'll be fine. I can carry it myself, thank you. Rosa's an independent woman who don't need no man. So independent that she works at Subway. Rosa went into her room, guided by Goda. She then closed the door somewhat violently and threw her luggage on top of the bed. She really is a bratty little sibling. Get it? Haha. I don't know how much younger she is than Kraus, but I remember joking that Kraus is 53, but he's probably actually around that age anyways. Rosa's probably late 30s, so a considerable age difference. She got down on her knees in front of the bed, burying her face in it. For a while, Rosa made as if to shred the sheets with her fingernails, sobbing constantly. Well, isn't that nice of you, Rosa, abusing your child and then only feeling regret for it later on?
Maria, are you alright?
Cannon appeared from behind the thicket after watching Rosa leave. He witnessed it? Oh, great.
I'm fine.
Maria gave a creepy laugh, but to Cannon, who had seen the whole thing, it looked like she was enduring as best she could.
She's a horrible person. I can't believe she's a mother. It can't be helped. You can't expect anything better than that to enter a container of that level. I'm just fine.
Cannon got down on his knees and picked up the trampled candy. It was tragic just looking at it. He thought about dusting it off and returning it to her, but he really couldn't do so with it in that condition. Just as he was wondering what to do, he met Maria's gaze. No, that wasn't quite right. Maria was looking at the candy Cannon had picked up. Right now, Maria's heart was surely the same as the candy that had been trampled into a pulp. Cannon realized this, but didn't know what he should do.
That's right. I'll exchange it for the one I received earlier.
Cannon remembered that a similar candy he'd received from Maria was in his pocket. Maria stuck out her hand. Cannon thought she was trying to take it, so he held out the candy, but Maria didn't try to grasp it. Then Cannon realized. She was saying, "Give it back." No matter how tragic and trampled it was, this candy was Maria's. Her mother had bought it for her. No matter how tragic, it had to be this candy and no other. If only it were intact enough that it could be fixed by dusting it off. Cannon hung his head.
Dusting it off is the most I can do. I'm sorry.
Cannon held out the miserable-looking candy Maria wanted. She took it and spoke.
Thank you. A human can't do anything except dust it off, but a witch could restore it to how it once was. It would be easy for Beatrice.
Maria, you know about Beatrice? Except for Battler, there was no way anyone related to the Ushiromiyas family could have failed to know Beatrice's name. But just now, Maria had bragged about Beatrice to Battler. She had spoken almost as though she was meeting with Beatrice regularly. Cannon felt a sharp pain inside his left hand, which was curled into a fist. In the past, a witch called Beatrice had appeared to tempt him and Shannon. He'd always tried to think of it as a bad dream. However, Shannon insisted that it definitely was a real witch. And then, this summer, the shrine to the local Shinto god was hit by lightning, disappearing without a trace over the span of a single night. He knew about Shannon breaking that mirror, and he'd remembered that, as the witch departed, she said she'd eventually be revived. And now, this girl who believed absolutely in Beatrice spoke as though she'd met Beatrice herself. Cannon couldn't suppress a vague sense of foreboding welling up in his heart. Okay, I like the very long pauses that pad out the runtime. For a while, Maria remained silent, as though she could see into Cannon's heart. Almost as though she was waiting for a memory of Beatrice to be revived. And then she spoke as though it was a fact.
You know, I'm friends with Beatrice. I'm even gonna meet her today and play.
You're going to play?
Yeah, of course we'll play. We're gonna study magic together.
I thought there was gonna be more after that, that's why I said it like it was a list. Cool. The face of that witch, whom Cannon had tried to pretend was a bad dream, began to slowly creep into the back of his mind. Dun 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 dun. Okay.
Father says he's extremely busy with his research. Unfortunately, it seems he'll be unable to come down.
Come on. We've put this conference in our schedules and come all the way out to Rokenjima during this crazy busy fall season. You'd think Dad could at least be a bit more sociable.
Yeah, seriously. Dr. Nanjo, is it really his research and his mood that are the problem? He isn't already bedridden, unable to get up, right?
Well, I wonder. There's not much I can say. Nanjo glanced at Natsuhi. It seemed he thought it wasn't his place to speak without first getting Natsuhi's approval.
Father's state of health is better than ever. It would be exceedingly rude to call him bedridden. But he only has 3 months left to live, right? Normally, wouldn't you expect him to be wasted away, unable to get out of bed? Isn't that right, Dr. Nanjo?
For a normal patient, that would probably be the case, but Kinzo has extraordinary willpower. Perhaps that willpower has frightened even the Reaper away.
Well, if he's that energetic, then I guess we have little to worry about for the near future, right?
Though, if he's got that much spunk, I wish he'd at least come to greet us. Isn't the whole point of this family conference to come and see Dad's face? I'm not even sure why we came now. Don't say that. If he were here, you'd complain the whole time about being unable to relax. Shouldn't we celebrate the fact that all of us siblings have gathered this year to spend some time alone?
We didn't get to see him at last year's family conference either, right? Can't you understand why his blood children might want to see him after 2 years? If there's anything you'd like to say in greeting, I will tell him for you. Or, Eva, is there anything you'd like to discuss with Father beyond merely greeting him? Yeah. Come on, what are you talking about? Sheesh.
Give it a rest, Eva. Natsuhi, forgive us. Eva's just worried about Father's condition as his daughter. Please try and understand how she feels. Indeed. Look how quickly you've grown to respect Father, now that you know how much longer he has to live. Yes, I believe I do understand why you want to see him so much. Humph.
What are you trying to say?
Quit it, sis. Why don't we pray that his mood will improve by dinner? Anyway, we've only just arrived. For now, we're only here for a casual greeting. And we could even hold the family conference without Dad. In fact, there's a few things we siblings shouldn't bring to him until we formed a unified opinion. Isn't that right, Hideyoshi? Yep. Just as Rudolph says. This is the only time of year we can all meet in person. We've got to take this valuable time seriously and be frank with each other. Even though the tea hadn't yet arrived, they were very determined. Does tea create determination? I'll have to ask Sans that sometime. Hey Sans, does tea create determination? What? No, what the fuck? Are you stupid? I'm Sans, not Muffet. Yeah, that would make sense. Who's talking? Rudolph, likely? But before that, perhaps we can spare the time to enjoy some black tea at our leisure, surrounded by the wonderful furnishings of the parlor. That was Kyrie. Okay. Kyrie's words seemed to contain a subtle admonition directed at everyone gathered there. They all understood, and as they cleared their throats and straightened their neckties, the atmosphere in the room returned to normal for a time.
Excuse me, I've brought some tea.
Hey, Shannon! You just keep getting prettier and prettier. Shannon entered the parlor, pushing the serving cart. Am I getting deja vu here? Everyone decided to relax and enjoy some black tea for the time being. A wonderful aroma began to spread throughout the room. As far as anyone could see, the strained atmosphere from before Shannon's arrival seemed like a lie. Of course, Shannon, who was setting out the tea, probably didn't even notice. Kyrie seemed to laugh faintly at how adult everyone was suddenly acting. Rudolph didn't like it when Kyrie took the initiative and spoke at the family conference. It was his worthless male pride. Okay. Oh fuck, I did not mean to do that. He probably didn't want to look like a weak man who took advice from his wife. She understood that and did her best to refrain from saying any more than was necessary. So, she separated herself from the circle of siblings, who only superficially appeared to be enjoying some time together alone, and casually drank her tea near the window.
Oh, Rosa, I thought you siblings were enjoying some alone time. You must be joking. Sorry, don't take it the wrong way. I'm just a little exasperated by my husband.
Apparently, Rosa hadn't been able to keep up with that on-the-surface friendliness. They'd come here to fight bloodily and dirtily, each trying to grab a part of the inheritance for themselves. She probably didn't like suddenly pretending that they were all chummy. Or maybe she was still too immature for that.
It looks like the wind started blowing hard out there. The plants are all shaking so much. The typhoon's probably gotten pretty close already. I wonder if we'll see a lot of rain tonight. Maria really has grown a lot this past year. Does it look that way? She still can't even fold her own clothing yet. No, it's true.
It's because she has such an affectionate mother. Why is there a fucking trailer backing into my driveway? Is it just turning around? Has a lot of bags and it has like a... Oh no, it's the coal. Fuck, now the house is gonna smell like coal all winter. No! No! She'll grow into a girl with a rich heart. Rosa fell silent. Maybe she was unsure as to what Kyrie meant by that. I'm a failure as a mother. Children don't get to choose their parents. That poor girl. Doesn't it go both ways? A parent can't choose what kind of child they have either. Rosa bit her lower lip. This isn't a matter of assigning blame. Isn't it enough that you take your time and watch over her as she grows, conscious of the fact that you'll be living together? You spend every day with Maria, so you probably don't notice the small changes. But the rest of us, who haven't seen her for a year, can see clearly how much she's grown. If you really mean that, thank you very much. Then if you will excuse me, if there is anything you desire, please call for it at any time. Shannon bowed politely and left the room. As Hideyoshi and Rudolph, who had a soft spot for women, watched her go. The atmosphere in the room began to revert back to what it had been right before Shannon's visit. If Father can't come down, well, that does still leave us with certain things we can discuss. Right, Rudolph? Yep, that's right. We didn't come all the way out here just to drink some dusty tea, right? Very well. What is the matter that you're clearly so eager to discuss? My. Those people really are determined. Do I really have to show up for another part in this episode? I really would like to get back to my house in Deltarune. I haven't even played Deltarune. All I know is that Sans is probably in it. Yeah, see ya. See ya when the full Deltarune comes out. They certainly got started quick. I need to join in too. If I don't assert myself, those people will quickly forget that there are 4 siblings. Sounds like you've got it pretty tough yourself. Maybe I spoke too harshly. Forgive me. No, I don't mind. I'm the one who should be apologizing. As a pair of mothers with daughters, we should talk more often. Oh yeah, because of Ange, or Ange, however you pronounce that. Every single time we meet, we end up talking about something shady. You can blame the atmosphere in the mansion for that. Once we start breathing in this air, the mood between us gets so strained. Just once, I'd like to have a nice long cup of tea with you, when we aren't attending a family conference. There's a wonderful coffee shop in Ginza that's a favorite of mine. Please, let me invite you sometime soon. Thank you, Kyrie. That sounds great. Still trying to transition Rosa's voice from this to this, you know? Even though it does not suit her. Oh no. The sky's gotten dark pretty fast. I could almost believe the people in this room made the weather worse. There's already thunder. Oh? Was that one there? Huh? There really were small splashes of rain on the glass of the parlor window. The weather seemed to have worsened faster than they expected. Was that thump in the game? Or was that in real life? I don't know. Just then, a silent thunderbolt struck inside Rosa's head, and she remembered that her beloved child was out in the rose garden. A normal girl would try to go inside if the weather got bad, but Maria was different. She would sometimes get stubborn and refuse to move if rain or even spears fell from the sky. Deja vu, I think I've been in this place before. That's right, I told that child to just stay there doing that forever, didn't I? Oh, that's another new expression. How come she never made this expression in the first chapter? She has so many new expressions, what the fuck? Or maybe I'm just remembering wrong. Oh no, Maria! Everyone looked back at Rosa when she let out a small scream. What? What is it? I'm sorry, I'm going outside for a second. I'll be right back. What the? Seriously, what's going on with her? Don't worry, she'll be back soon. More importantly, shouldn't we begin? Our main topic. That's right. We can keep talking about that without Rosa. Let's return to our discussion. Okay. Rosa dashed from the entrance hall into the rose garden. When she opened the door, the wind that hit her was too strong to be called a light breeze, and told her that the typhoon was approaching faster than she'd thought. Just as Kyrie had said, the wind was mixed in with small droplets of rain. There was also a low rumble of thunder. It could start raining any time. Rosa headed for the rose garden. Okay, Rosa headed for the rose garden. Ugh. Does the game want to make that pun? I mean, I don't think they tried to. Ryukishio7, the guy who made this game, definitely don't think he tried to make that a pun. How Rosa is her name and there's a rose garden. And in the first episode, she died in the rose garden storehouse. Probably because Rose is not Rose in Japanese, so that's probably it. She headed for the place where she had scolded Maria a short while ago. It was almost lunchtime. The children had been told to come to the mansion around lunchtime, so they were probably in the guest house, waiting to be called. Even if Maria didn't come to them, they would surely think I took her to the mansion with me and wouldn't worry much. After all, she had been with her mother, so there should have been no reason to worry. I was here, and I abandoned my daughter to the worsening weather. Maria! Are you there? If you're there, answer me!
Ew.
I was right. She was still standing stock still, exactly the same way she had been in the place where I had scolded her. Held in her hand was the candy that I'd bought, given her, and then stepped on and crushed. With that gripped in her hand, she stood there as the powerful winds whipped her hair about, tormenting her. Just imagine it's raining, okay? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry, Maria. Forgive Mama.
Mama, welcome back. I waited a long time for you to come back. The scary witch pinched me, but I stayed strong, waiting for Mama to come back without crying.
Maria, forgive your Mama. Forgive your Mama.
You didn't do anything wrong. You were just possessed by a bad witch again. So I'm fine. I really like you, Mama. I love you.
Screaming. Ah! I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please forgive your Mama for losing to the bad witch. So, does she believe in witches, or does she just, like, appease Maria whenever she's not in a bad mood? Rosa buried her face in Maria's small chest, crying and begging forgiveness. And once again, those tears dripped down after who knows how many times. If only the brilliant sun had been shining on the two of them, all of their cares would have been evaporated, and it might have felt like they could begin anew. However, what surrounded the two of them was the worsening weather. Sadly, there were only fierce winds with occasional thunder. The sound of Maria sniffling brought Rosa to her senses. If Maria stood exposed to the wind for too long, she'd probably catch a cold. Okay, Maria, it's almost time for lunch. Why don't you come back to the mansion with me?
Ew, won't go.
Why not? Rosa thought she'd already received Maria's forgiveness, so she hadn't imagined why Maria would refuse. But that expression on Maria's face didn't look like that of a child resisting her mother. So Rosa couldn't understand why Maria wanted to stand still, pointlessly, as the weather grew even worse. Maria answered that question.
It's Beatrice. She'll be here really soon, so I'm waiting.
Maria? Rosa struggled to find words for a moment, then fell silent. They'd only just managed to make up after all. She chose her words carefully, trying to get Maria to come with her to the mansion without denying the witch outright. To say something like, the witch will see you later. Beatrice is coming?
Ew!
Really? Then instead of waiting here, why don't we wait in the mansion? If you stay in this wind too long, you'll catch a cold.
She'll come. Beatrice will come. And when she does, I'll give her candy. I'll do trick-or-treat. I'll give her a jack-o'-lantern marshmallow candy and say Happy Halloween. Ew!
Maria pulled yet another sweet out of her handbag, moaning ooh ooh. Rosa was bewildered and didn't know what to do as Maria started being difficult again. At that time, there was a sudden blast of thunder. It was probably a sign that this island had been sealed off by the storm, detached from common sense and reality. So after this moment, all common sense would probably cease to apply. Great. The wind blew even stronger, and amidst that blizzard of scattered rose petals, a figure— What? Am I appearing already? Christ. A figure appeared, leaving Rosa unable to imagine that this was a scene from reality. It was probably— no. Definitely fantastical. After all, that shadow of a person was— Alright, here come the magic circles. Woo! Oh, it's not even the same Beatrice. She's wearing a different outfit this time.
Beatrice!
Maria dashed over to the shadow. Normally, Rosa would scold her daughter if she dashed over to someone whom she hadn't seen before and didn't know. But Rosa forgot to do that. Was unable to do anything. Yeah, was unable to do anything but stand there, stunned. You know what? I'm gonna have Mexican rice for lunch. That sounds pretty good. It's been quite... I don't know why that just came out. My brain works in mysterious ways. You'd think I'd have a It's hard for me to believe sometimes that I don't have some sort of mental disorder or some sort of physical disorder of any kind. Because I'm fairly sure I have at least a very, very slight mental disorder. But you know, the amount that I care is slim because I still exist. Haha, I am still human, and if you ridicule me for not being normal, then fuck you, I'll hit you with a cardboard tube relentlessly. It's been quite some time. Have you been well?
Ew! I've been well. Witches don't catch colds. Ew!
So Maria's referring to herself as a witch already.
Indeed, a witch can use curses to make people catch colds. But how foolish would it be if she caught one herself?
I hate how my Beatrice voice and my Eva voice are the same.
From now on, you should take care not to catch something like a cold yourself.
She patted Maria's head as she said this, smiling roguishly. That's probably what it is. Rosa couldn't have known the name of the woman who was happily spoiling Maria. However, Maria had called it out in the beginning when the woman appeared. So even though Rosa had never met her, even though the woman still hadn't introduced herself, Rosa was able to know her name. However, that name held a special meaning on Rokanjima and in the Ushiromiya family. There was no way something that stupid could be.
Beatrice! Happy Halloween! Look what we bought! I'll give you one too, Beatrice. Ew!
Indeed, happy Halloween. Oh, is this for me? How truly adorable that a candy would be made out of this. The lonely light of a man lost in the darkness of purgatory, unable to go to heaven or hell. Right now, on this island that has been cut off both from the world of humans and the world of non-humans, there may be no more suitable sweet. Maria, what's wrong with that one? The witch noticed the sweet Maria was grasping. It was Maria's candy, which had been stomped on by Rosa until it reached this pitiful state. Wait, it's a marshmallow, so it's just crushed. And it's wrapped in plastic, so it's not like it's contaminated. It's just a crushed marshmallow.
Ew, got stepped on and smashed. Can you fix it, Beato?
Beato? I'll call her Beato, because I think that's how they pronounced it in the anime. I don't know. Maria didn't go so far as to say that it was her mother who'd stepped on it. However, for some reason, when the witch saw that candy, she looked at Rosa and grinned. Okay. Obviously, all this magic stuff isn't truly happening in these worlds, because the witches, despite existing, cannot interfere. At least, that's my theory, at least. The witches exist, but do not interfere in these quote-unquote games, because they didn't interfere in Higurashi. Well, assuming that that was a game, which... Come to think of it, it could have been. Burn Castle was probably had something to do with Higurashi, seeing as how she looks just like Rika, just older. Maybe she is Rika. I have no clue. But regardless, what was I thinking? I don't know. Something. Yeah. If magic truly doesn't exist, then this isn't Beatrice. And the fact that Rosa's not saying anything, I think it's fair to say that Beatrice right now is Rosa. It's possible, at least. How tall are they again? Yeah, she could definitely pose as Beatrice. However, for some reason, when the witch saw that candy, she looked at Rosa and grinned. A chill went down Rosa's spine, as though this gaze was staring straight through her. It shall be easy. Give it to me.
Ew!
Maria held the candy out gleefully. Rosa could do nothing but watch, stunned. How did this person plan to trick Maria, somehow undoing the fact that the candy had been pitifully trampled? Maria looked as though she believed it could be fixed good as new. Without real magic, there was no way such a thing could be possible. Why my, it is quite crushed, isn't it? Come, Maria, close your eyes and try to remember. Because it really was that wonderful a candy. Yeah, probably still Beatrice, because it really was that wonderful a candy. The candy of your memories is always full and fluffy, so you try to remember it as well. What kind of candy was it really? Along with those strange words, spoken as though singing an improvised folk song, the witch threw the sweet into the air. Maria was closing her eyes and remembering, just as the witch had told her to. What shape had that crushed candy really had? Therefore, only Rosa saw that scene. The sweet that had been thrown into the air burst into a gold color. No, that wasn't it. Those were golden butterflies. It scattered into several golden butterflies, and they began to gather at the witch's hand, which was held up to the sky. What the? And as she did this, unbelievably, it returned to its beautiful original form, no different from when it had been bought. Okay, obvious trick. Assuming Rosa's Beatrice. Rosa isn't actually here. Well, Beatrice isn't actually here. It's Rosa dressed as Beatrice. And she bought another sweet. She planned to trample the one on... She planned to destroy Maria's. One of Maria's, at least. And what happened is she threw it into the air, caught it, and pulled out a different one that she bought, tricking Maria. I don't know exactly 100% how she could fool Maria into thinking that it's real, but granted she's young, so she'd probably believe that anyways, even if she just put it behind her back and pulled out a different one, you know? Only Rosa and the witch witnessed that scene. Unable to comprehend what was occurring right before her eyes, Rosa stood with her mouth hanging open, completely forgetting to shut it. You may now open your eyes. Oh, she made Maria close her eyes even. Then duh, she just pulled out a different one. Okay, take it. With this, your sweet has returned to normal.
Oh, Beatrice is always incredible. Incredible.
There was a stark contrast between Rosa's shock and Maria's innocent joy. Was that what the witch was laughing at? A smile floated to Beatrice's face, one different from the smile she'd shown Maria. Does my face seem familiar? If you stare so fixedly, you might burn a hole through it. I'm sorry. Those words triggered something very clearly in Rosa's mind. Rosa knew this face. She knew it from the portrait of the witch. But no, wait. Could this mystery woman really be... Maria, I give you this in exchange for the sweet you gave me. Oh boy, a letter.
Ew, a letter?
The witch pulled a western envelope from her pocket and gave it to Maria. However, when Maria made to open it, the witch stopped her. You must not. The time will soon come for you to open it, but until then you absolutely must not. Take good care of it. That will be your invitation to the Golden Land.
The Golden Land! So you'll finally take me there!
Take it and treat it with care. You must not show it to anyone.
Ew, I'll keep that promise. You've always got to keep promises with witches.
And this is for you. Huh? Me? She probably hadn't imagined that the witch would speak to her too. I don't think Maria's really even acknowledged Rosa at all here. So, if she does, then my theory's thrown away, and Beatrice is someone different, like Eva or Natsuhi or Shannon again. But who knows? Obviously, someone's dressed up as Beatrice, at least. Rosa was bewildered by the second western envelope, which was thrust before her. But the problem is, if it's someone else... I don't know. I feel like it would have to be Rosa, wouldn't it? She'd seen this type of envelope before. There could be no mistake. It was one of Kinzo's special envelopes, used when he wrote with his own hand and bearing the Ushiromiya family crest. It was sealed with red sealing wax, and furthermore, it had a mark that seemed to have been made by the head's ring. In other words, even without asking what was inside this letter, Rosa knew that this woman, whom Maria called Beatrice, was trusted enough to be placed in charge of a personal letter of the current Ushiromiya head. It could have been any of the 4 siblings. However, the fact that I've met you here probably means you were chosen by Kinzo's roulette. So take it. Then read its contents aloud while seated at the dinner table, when all of the siblings are gathered. What did you say? Rosa looked back and forth several times between the witch's face and the envelope that had been handed to her. Today was the family conference, and the biggest object of discussion would be the inheritance problem. So she had joined together with Eva and Rudolph, and they planned to force a certain condition on Kraus to try and extort several million yen in cash out of him. It was as if the witch could see through all of that. Oh yeah, speaking of money, I learned something interesting in psych in my psychology class yesterday. Apparently, we were talking about drugs and smoking and all that, and how cigarettes obviously cause people to eventually die. So, someone, I forget who, someone asked my teacher, how come the big companies like Marlboro and Reynolds never get sued? And he said they do, and the person suing them always wins. But the cigarette companies don't care because they have so much money. So basically, all I have to do in order to get rich is wait for someone close to me to die of lung cancer due to smoking, sue Marlboro or whatever for 10 million, and boom, I don't have to work a day in my life. I shouldn't use the death of a family member to get rich, obviously, but hey, you want to get... If you have a family member who's at risk of dying due to their smoking addiction, and you don't want to work, then wait for that family member to die of lung cancer and sue Marlboro. There you go. Christ. I'm giving people ideas, aren't I? All 3 people who have gotten to this point in the video, yep. It was as if the witch could see through all of that, and I need to use the mouse, not the arrow key. What does she intend to announce when all of us siblings are gathered? And with a personal envelope that no one but the Ushiromiyas head can use. Maria, the weather is getting worse. Return to the guest house and wait for lunchtime. And Rosa, we will meet again later. Allow me to introduce myself again at that time. Any of those phrases could have been not there. Heck, this whole interaction could have not even existed in the first place. It could have been something completely different, right? Who knows. The witch turned her back to her, laughing. Then she began to head towards the mansion with an air of composure. I mean, magic could have something to do with this. This is the same universe as Higurashi, and Hanyu directly participated using magic of some kind in the last 2 arcs. So it's possible that magic does have something to do with this, but just not to the same, but not by Beatrice. Or it is all humans and tricks. I don't know. We'll find out eventually. They'll probably tell us if Higurashi was actually a game created by some of the witches, because this could also be just created by the witches. This could all just be fiction, who knows? Like, I'd like to think it's actually happening, but it's very possible that none of it's happening, and that it's all just a game between Beatrice and Batware to begin with, and Batware is like a male witch, a sorcerer, something like that? I don't know. It could be anything, really. We'll just have to wait and see. Maria energetically called out and watched her go, then began to dash towards the guest house, leaving Rosa behind. Yeah, she never acknowledged Rosa. I think Rosa's Beatrice. We'll have to see if it's actually possible for Rosa to be the culprit this time. We'll be paying quite a bit of attention to that. As though she wanted to inform the other cousins of her fortunate meeting with the witch as soon as she could. At last, Rosa was left alone in the rose garden as the witch... Wait, huh? Leaving Rosa behind as though she wanted to inform the other cousins of her... Okay, yeah. At last, Rosa was left alone in the rose garden as the winds grew stronger, unable to do anything but pray that what had happened was just a daydream. Alright. Okay then. Creak! Open that door. Hey look, it's Genji. When the witch... What? When the witch reached the entrance hall, Genji could be seen there. Genji welcomed the guest approaching from the entrance hall with a respectful bow. I have been waiting, Beatrice. You're fucking okay. I guess she's involved. She has a tattoo on her Hold the fuck on! Oh, nope, that's different. Okay. I was gonna say, she has a tattoo on her leg. And I remember she does too, but no, that's completely different. We don't... She doesn't have legs, she doesn't have legs, she's obviously not it. She doesn't have legs, she doesn't have legs, she doesn't have legs, and, well, she does, but no, okay. It's been quite some time, Genji. You've gotten old. That's rude. No matter how old it becomes, furniture carries out its work like furniture until the end. I remember how that man's wife used to be jealous of you. Is Kinzo doing well? He is doing extremely well. That was an awful cackle. The witch probably laughed because she knew Kinzo's own doctor had announced that Kinzo didn't have long to live. However, if anyone actually looked at Kinzo and noticed his vigor, which wasn't at all what you'd expect from someone nearing the end of his life, they might easily call that doing extremely well. Maybe that's what the witch was laughing at. Then let us go and greet him. I look forward to hurling curses at each other after 30 years. As the witch grinned, she started walking, leaving Genji behind. Her gait was like that of a family member who knew the inside of the mansion well. Genji followed her in the manner of one who served her. At that time, Kyrie came out of the parlor. Uh-oh. She'd probably gone out to fix her makeup or something. And when she saw Genji following a witch, she was surprised, although her expression did not change. A guest for Kinzo had arrived, despite him being almost dead, on the day of the family conference when the fate of the inheritance was to be decided. And furthermore, this person was familiar enough with the Ushiromiya family household that Genji was following behind her. Kyrie immediately realized that this person she had never met before was deeply important. Kyrie and the witch's eyes met. Realizing that it'd be rude to pretend not to notice, she greeted the witch. It's a pleasure to meet you. You were Rudolph's second wife, yes? Correct. This is Kyrie, Rudolph's current wife. From this exchange, Kyrie realized that this was a guest of fairly high rank, even amidst the Ushiromiya family. And the fact that this was a guest on that level, coupled with her resemblance to the portrait in the entrance hall, made Kyrie's eyes instantly open wide. Yeah, it's the same person. Alright. What? Did the portrait just change? I mean, I know the portrait's supposed to be that in this, but I don't know. Pleased to meet you. I'm Kyrie. I wonder if this is our first meeting. If we have met before, I apologize for forgetting your name. So you intend to force me to state my name even though you already have a vague idea of the answer? Kyrie thought she'd given a sociable and humble greeting. Her expression grew slightly cloudy at that openly oppressive response. Okay, so Genji did recognize Kyrie. So that means Kyrie is not Beatrice. Okay. At any rate, this didn't seem to be a person she could grow to like. But if Kyrie's guesses were correct, this witch probably held a vital key to what her own husband was most interested in. Something that couldn't help but influence tonight's family conference. So without shooting back a retort, Kyrie silently watched her go up the stairs to the second floor, with Genji following behind. Okay. Sure. So when someone tapped her shoulder from behind, she was so surprised she almost choked. It was Natsuhi. Kyrie, why are you standing still in a place like this? Are you not feeling well? I'm sorry. I was just fascinated by the portrait of the witch for a bit. Oh, you mean the golden witch Beatrice. The one whose gold was supposedly necessary for the revived Ushiromiyas family we see today. Quite a fantastical story. Just what one might expect from father. Natsuhi spoke in a perfectly ordinary way. It was the sort of comment you'd expect from someone convinced that the thought of a witch existing was ridiculous. No more than another of Kinzo's ramblings. However, for some reason, that point of view didn't seem quite right to Kyrie now. Just a moment ago, she herself had seen the Golden Witch come in from the entrance hall and climb up the stairs. So Natsuhi's words made it feel as though someone was trying to deny the existence of that person, or else make it seem like she was never there to begin with. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm getting a bit of a headache. I think I'll rest for a little while. Oh, is that so? Then I have some good headache medicine. I've been waiting my entire life for this. I'll get it for you. It should be next to the Outback Steakhouse ads. The hallway in front of Kinzo's study was filled with the scent of green poison, peculiar to that green liquor. Oh yeah, I need to mention this. I was actually told in the comments of my first video by someone whose name I forget, but it starts with like a Z, it's like Zeklon or something like that, that this drink is actually called absinthe. Okay, that's interesting. I'm glad to finally know what it's actually called. And apparently it's banned in many countries because it supposedly can cause mental disorders. And that also seems right, given Kinzo, you know? Genji, who was completely used to it, did not grimace. And the Golden Witch didn't grimace either. How long has he been in there since last he left? I believe it has already been several years. Wow. Is he that desperate to turn me into a bird in a cage? How pitiful. By now you're the bird in a cage. You're the ghost of the study, are you not? How pitiful that he is unable to recognize even that. Until he meets you again, he will probably continue his research, even after literally becoming a ghost. Is it love or madness or a delusion? And yet, perhaps even those can form magical power when strong enough. You sad magician. The witch grasped the doorknob to the study. When she did, there was a sound like that of flesh burning and splitting open. Oh, fuck. It was the sound of the doorknob literally burning the witch's hand. Beatrice? What is this? Oh my god. A ward against magic! Is that person unable to get by without relying on something like this? I have heard that this door would cause you great pain, Beatrice. Shall I open it? No, it is fine. If he wins, I will be a bird in a cage for all eternity. If he loses, only the life of a laughingstock will be left. The life of a pitiful magician who went mad with love and lost everything. Already, Kinzo and I are nothing more than pieces laid out on the game board. All that is left is for the roulette to decide who wins and who loses. Until the roulette shows its result, there is no need for me and Kinzo to meet again. The witch looked at her hand, which was beginning to heal bit by bit, even though it had been horribly burned. Or perhaps that is why he has this ward here in the first place. Humph. Yes, perhaps even that is honorable in its own way. By now, everything sits on top of Kinzo's game board. I like it, Kinzo. Allow me to enjoy my game with you. Allow me to enjoy the failure of the final gamble, of the old magician who fell in love with me and threw away his entire life. Shatter. Yep, that's expected. It is not 12, but rather 1? 1. It is 1 p.m., guys. Only 11 hours until the roulette spins, or whatever the fuck. Alright. I can't right click just yet. But whatever. I guess that's gonna be it for this episode. Not a very anticlimactic. It just wasn't as good an ending as the last episode was, with Batwer and Beatrice yelling at each other, but whatever. That's gonna be it for this episode. If you liked it, be sure to press the like button, and if you didn't like it, fuck you too. Remember to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all my videos and stuff. And as always, my name is Godzi, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye!